Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.
That is right, none taken.
taken.
I am your host, Easton Moore, and I am the Movie Moron. This is the Movie Moron podcast.
You're the host?
Yeah.
This is wild.
It's been that way for a long time. But
Oh, you're right.
okay, and the person that jumped the gun there was, of course, our practical co-host himself, Trevor.
I hate computers.
I hate computers.
We all do.
Yes.
Anybody that works with computers hates computers.
Anybody that works with Apple computers especially hates computers.
I mean, it's pretty consistent. Doesn't matter if it's Apple or PC. They all suck sometimes.
Well, in my experience, it's Apple. Listeners.
Oh, I've
Hey,
had my
Trevor,
fair
what kind
share.
of phone do you have?
I said computers?
Oh,
That is a
Not
computer, though.
Phone.
It's a computer in your pocket.
it's
I'm
a
going to
mini
leave right
computer.
now. I'll see you guys later.
Oh,
Okay, and then the all-time guest is back, Tristan.
I'm not listening to you. You only believe in science. That's probably why we never win.
What's the next line?
we don't win because you are fat.
Dang, maybe we should have done my intro was that one. We've gone back to back.
Oh, please.
Oh, Be
Okay.
nice to yourself, Teddy Fresh.
Never. Okay, we are talking about one of our favorite activities as a group. We all love it very much. I'm talking about a movie that is about that activity, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves.
Well,
Of course.
there's one exception.
Demi.
Two exceptions.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And everybody in our YouTube comments and stuff, give a little prayer to our Conehead dog.
Oh, yeah.
Who just got eye surgery. You can see him right up in front in the camera.
He won't lay down.
I was about to say he's staring right at the camera,
With his
but he
little-
can't see. So
One eye.
I did pet his head today, up here,
Yeah.
and he was loving it. He was like,
Oh,
"Oh, finally!"
Yeah, it's the best thing ever for him. You put your hand there and he's like, go, go, go.
yeah. And Trevor and I are also drinking some gasoline. So
Yes.
if you would like to know what brand of scotch this is, just let me know and I will tell you to never buy it.
I was about to say, or what brand not to get.
Because this is the worst scotch I've ever tasted. It tastes like I just grabbed the alcohol out of the medicine cabinet and took a
It
swap.
smells like that too.
I mean,
and took a drink because
A little swig.
that's the only thing I could get when I was a kid. So I didn't do that.
it's like Meredith Palmer in The Office. She's eating hand sanitizer because of the
Oh,
alcohol
yeah.
content. Yeah,
yeah, that's what this tastes like.
yeah, that's good though. It doesn't mean that has a high percentage content.
Yeah, it's
or
like
something.
58%.
Oh my gosh!
No, 48%.
that's still so high.
Yes, it is very high.
Put some
But
pineapple juice in it.
It was expensive and came in a box, so I was like, "This has got to be good."
Yeah, right.
Nope,
Isn't that how that works?
that's what I thought.
Not
Yeah.
this time.
Not this time.
Suckers.
Nope,
Oof.
I got suckered. They're like, if we just put it high price, they'll think that it's good, so then they'll
Ooh.
buy it.
Yeah. Let's make this look as fancy as possible.
The bottle does look nice and fancy.
It does.
Next time, I might get the pirate bottle.
it's like a little.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll
Mm.
taste like the plank.
What?
No.
I had an image of just someone lick it just
Getting
licking the
splinters on their
plank.
tongue.
That's what I
Don't
was
say
thinking.
that.
Yeah, I was also thinking of splinters in your tongue.
Ew.
Gross.
That's not. That's not. Okay, but the episode we're doing is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves.
Anyway.
Starring Mr. Chris Pine.
It is starring
Ayo.
Chris Pine.
And the girl from Fast and Furious.
That's not Ronda Rousey, is he? Is it?
Oh
No.
no.
I always
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez, Ronda Rousey. Get a grip, Trevor.
Yeah, and there's a few other people that have been.
One of the Simon is from Disney. Yeah.
He was Detective Pikachu, the main guy in that.
Hugh Grant
Yeah.
is in this.
Hugh Grant
Oh, yeah.
is in this.
Yeah.
That's where I know the girl from. It. Chapter 1 and
Yeah,
Chapter
yep.
2.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
She's the older person.
She's the girl.
yeah.
Mhm.
I thought she looked familiar, but she's much older in this one.
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Now that you've mentioned that, I
Yes.
can't unsee
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She did look
Um,
really familiar.
Yeah, well, she's
That
also
would be
supposed to be
why.
a tiefling in this.
Supposed to be.
Yeah. Tieflings are supposed to be like red and purple,
Yeah, like not white.
not human.
And also not
Oh.
especially.
Well, she has horns. That's different.
And she had a tail for a
She
few
did
scenes.
have a tail.
Yeah. I feel like they probably just didn't want to animate it the entire time.
Or I don't know where that. Anyway, we'll get into it.
They also weren't doing a whole lot of ass shots of her, so it's not like it was super noticeable.
That's fair.
Like,
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere, rocking everywhere, rocking everywhere. Somebody stop me, or I'll sing the whole song.
I don't even know the rest of the song.
I can very easily stop you.
Oh.
Push
That
a
finger
mute
on the
button real
button,
quick.
yeah.
Okay, but yeah, let's just get into general thoughts of Dungeons and Dragons. This was Trevor's first pick. Not first pick, but that was one of your picks.
It
for,
was, yes.
our little competition that we're doing, which we
Yes.
might alter the rules a little bit if
Oh,
I don't know how our rule. This is the first time we're doing it, so I don't know how the rules
You're
will
fine,
go.
you're
but
fine. No,
we might throw something else in there to make it a little bit more fair. But this is the first movie that came up from our list of what we're excited to see of the year, and what we think are going to be good.
Didn't you pick John Wick 4 though?
Oh, I think you
Maybe
did.
I did.
I think
We should
you
check
did.
back on that. Yeah, because I thought.
Well,
the
I'm
three-
starting off low.
I thought
That means
the three
I
of them
should probably
were.
rewatch it.
Well, I thought the three of them were back to back. I thought it was like
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Wick,
you and
Dungeons and Dragons, and then
And
Super
then,
Mario.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Super Mario's looking like the
the pick,
top of the
the
food
one.
chain. And then Bayou comes out in April.
I don't
Bayou?
remember that at all.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Bo is afraid, right? Yeah, Bayou.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I thought it was.
He's just mispronouncing it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought it was
oh.
Bayou is
Bo,
afraid.
Bo is afraid. Yeah,
Oh,
Bo.
it looks like Bayou.
pronounced.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of that movie we saw about the Korean family. Something
Oh.
Bayou. Blue Bayou.
Blue Bayou.
So I'm just connecting those two. But
No, I think that's something else. Because Blue Bayou is the one that Tristan wanted to see based off the book, right?
No.
Blue-
Where the
Stephen
crawdads
Young.
sing.
Oh no, okay, you're correct. My mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
that was my. No, I was the one getting
this
confused.
is a wild episode just to start.
I love it.
I'm loving it. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So this felt. I feel like calling this a Dungeons and Dragons right off the bat. Just a preface. Easton and I are pretty into D&D, and so like
Yeah.
we were looking for D&D things.
We basically play 1 to 3 times a week.
yeah.
Well,
I think I
You
maybe
used
play
to-
like once a month. Yeah,
you
but I
used to.
Yeah.
And then now I'm in several more campaigns. Trevor
Mhm.
doesn't have the time or the weekends to
Right.
do that, and I don't work weekends at all. So it's pretty
Yeah.
easy for me to be in a few campaigns with other people that don't work weekends. So
Yeah.
I do it anywhere from 1 to 3 times a weekend. Usually 1 to 2, but every once in a while 3.
Right.
But yeah, we're constantly playing.
Yeah, it's on our mind. Like we understand the game. We've played it before. We're not strangers to it. That being said, I feel like this, like being marketing itself as a Dungeons and Dragons movie, was a detriment rather than a help. Like this felt way more like a Dark Crystal or a.
Well, it definitely got the D&D nerds to the movie theater.
It
'cause-
did, yeah.
It
Which
did.
is good. I mean,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
I'm not
for
saying that to make
our-
fun of any of the D&D nerds because I am one.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
saying we saw a lot of people that were obviously D&D players because they bought the D&D.
The
popcorn.
dice.
Right.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and those popcorn things were like sold out I heard a lot of people saying
Yeah.
that they couldn't find them at the theater, which if you're looking for one, you can actually buy them at the AMC online marketplace.
Oh, great.
So if yours
That's
is
cool.
sold out, you
There
might
you
be able
go.
to still get one there.
Rock and roll.
Or they're sold out there now too. I don't know. But
knows?
I saw that on Twitter, so.
We've scored.
Did anybody buy that?
the
Popcorn?
bucket? No,
Okay.
no. But we scored the map and the
Yeah.
poster. Yeah, that's the second week in a
Yeah,
row.
that was
We've gotten
free.
some free stuff. Yeah. No, I had a good time with this. Where I get so like if I think of this as just this is a medieval movie and it's kind of playing off tropes of like modern times as a medieval movie, I like it better. But if I think of this as this is a Dungeons and Dragons movie, I'm like they could have done so much more. And they could have played into a lot more aspects of translating D&D to a movie. and I know that, you're always, anytime we get games that are converted into movies, we have some kind of element of the game. And this one, we get a couple overhead shots from the top down, looking like a grid. Yeah. Which is good. But then those happen and they're gone. And I actually wanted more of that. I wanted more of those kind of shots. Now, along with that, I mean, it would have been really easy to go overboard. I think the story is fairly solid. There's a couple plot things that are kind of like, and then this happens. But other than that, no. I mean, and the music is pretty good in terms of like, like the bardcore is kind of a thing now, where people are taking hip hop and turning it into like lute and drone tunes. So if you look up bardcore on YouTube, you'll find tons of stuff. Yeah. No, overall I had fun with this for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My turn.
Yeah.
I think that like knowing things about D&D but not knowing enough to like pick up on stuff.
I think Tristan played 3 sessions of D&D, maybe 4.
You did my Jurassic Park game I tried to come up with like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. And
she's like, "Yep, that happened."
I don't think she knew what was going on, but
yeah. So to me, if they said like, I don't know, paladin or like half elf or something, I'm like, oh hey, I kind of know what that word means. Like I didn't feel so lost, I guess, when they threw in little things like that.
Sure.
And then, but then like I didn't get mad like you guys did when they got things wrong or something. Not that you guys were mad about it, but
no,
it didn't matter to me because I didn't know. Yeah. And I also feel like it was pretty smart of them to label D&D because it will get all the D&D nerds to go to the movie, and it'll get like people who just like going to the movies or like this kind of movie
just
because
fantasy.
it has Chris Pine.
Yeah. It's got star power and it's got fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people like...
And it's a name, like you said, D&D.
Yeah.
And old people used to love fantasy. It's really... Old people have like gone away from it, which is weird. But like, I remember like our parents, like people that age in the, 50 to 60, 70 year range, they like 80s was a huge fantasy time for films because people were eating it up. I mean, it didn't look good, but people just liked that fantasy. It was more like late 80s.
Yeah.
But
Well, isn't it like The Princess Bride?
Princess
Wouldn't that
Bride,
be fantasy?
yeah.
That was 70s, I think. But you had like Dragonheart, Highlander, Dark Crystal, Willow.
Yeah.
Which
So, yeah, so it
remade, I
gets-
think, or was remade
It just
recently.
it just has a TV show, which apparently is
gotcha.
awful on Disney Plus.
Uh-oh.
It's more of like a sequel, requel kind of thing.
Sure.
And yeah, people know like, oh, my grandson plays D&D or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten away from the stigma of being a devil worshipping thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Stranger Things, the last season of Stranger Things kind of pokes fun at that, of how it was considered, whatever.
Yeah, because that was just a 80s Christian thing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in their defense, I think there were probably a lot of people that there were some crossover and some inspiration.
Yeah.
People that made D&D may have not have been. Yeah, they may have been.
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like origins of things doesn't mean that stays with it the whole
Well,
time.
Exactly.
and it kind of goes into that whole what's bad, the art or the artist.
Yeah.
Stop.
And I don't really even I don't know if they were. I don't know much about the creators, but I just know it obviously has a lot of heathenistic
Yeah,
creation
there's
stuff. There's a lot of gods.
pantheon of gods.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
And, but I mean, you can look. I mean, well, if we talk about that, we'll be here all night.
True.
Yeah. No. What did you think about it?
I had a lot of fun. I thought the D&D aspects of the thing were all done really well. They didn't try too hard to make it exactly like D&D, because I think if you do that, you're putting yourself up for failure, because the way that D&D works with rolling and all of that does not work for a fluid story or
Right.
action scenes.
Yes.
And so they just kind of did things to make it feel like it's a party of adventures. And sure, you have people that can 1v12 people and stuff like that. Which, I mean, in reality, even in D&D, if you're a level 10 barbarian, you can take on 25 guards.
Well, like, and even our last session, not to get too nerdy on this podcast, but on our last session, your character, for the one I'm DMing, took out like 5 guards in one
shot.
turn or one shot.
Well, it was 3 shots.
But it was one
turn.
in your turn, you took out 5. Yeah.
So like it's not like that stuff is like fine. Now it's obviously looks different.
Right.
But yeah, I mean there were a couple of things I wish they had like gone more into the differences of characters and stuff. Mainly just the bard. Main character doesn't really feel like a bard.
Yeah.
He's just a charismatic person,
Right.
which bards are, but there's more to them than that. And I wish and we talked about it a little bit, but I wish they would have dove into that a little bit more. But nonetheless, I thought that the beginning was a little slow and kind of weak, but once we got out of that and started getting into our story, they tried really hard to get an emotional pull to it. I think it worked for the most part.
Yeah.
Because it also stuck kind of comical in that kind of seriousness. It really towed that line of jokes and seriousness to kind of, I don't know, not feel like it's trying to be a drama when it shouldn't be. Like this should be an action comedy. And they do that pretty well. So yeah, I had fun. The music was great. Ensemble cast was a lot of fun. I really liked the two, like, there's pretty much 2 different like groupings in our main group. Yeah, and I liked both of them like together, and they worked well as a whole 4. But yeah, I liked them together in their own 2 little groups too, and that one of them was sexual, like non-relationship. Our main character and the woman.
That too.
Yes, they were just friends.
Yeah, that really cared for each other, and that
which fits into like D&D.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, when you get these D&D parties, like it's supposed to be 4 or 5 people that have this bond of friendship, and that's why they're going through this story and trying to save whatever.
The ultimate goal of D&D is to have fun with everybody.
Yeah,
and
but yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. Really liked it.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised or disappointed.
Sure,
it was kind of exactly what I thought. Like I didn't know what the story was going to be, but how I felt watching it was kind of how I felt. So
yeah, and this isn't a big spoiler, but I know. Kudos to the like costume people for making there's a half dragon in this. There's Khajiits, the cat people are in this. There's I forget what the snake people are called, but there's a lot of practical costuming in this, which that's why I said this feels like Dark Crystal. Like it doesn't totally land just when everything else looks so real. Because it is like it's a lot of like just humans acting.
Yeah.
And especially when those creatures talked, I just felt like I was kind of back in the end. Maybe that's what the goal was, is they wanted it to feel like Willow or a Dark Crystal or whatever. But I still was just kind of like, this is not great. It's good. The costuming's good, but when you make them talk, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, I didn't have a huge problem with it, but they definitely didn't feel like they were like peak Star Wars level of species.
Sure. Yeah. I'd agree.
Which is, like I said, which is fine. I mean, this isn't Rogue One.
Right.
Where like they look like they're real life species things.
Yes.
Or Force Awakens when you're at that Katina scene and you see all those different races.
Yeah.
Or species.
One portion. That's all I remember from that movie. It's just like that one guy on whatever that
was a
planet
famous
is called.
actor. Jakku,
yeah.
But yeah. I guess that's all I really got for general thoughts, unless you guys got anything else.
Not really, man. This is just it's just it
feels very like happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
Kinda, like
which is
fun.
exactly how you have to be in D&D.
Exactly.
You just kind of got to go with the flows. Things happen, and hopefully you make it out.
Right.
If you don't, you roll new character.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, if you stick around and listen to spoilers or not, I mean, whatever. But ultimately, just to kind of give you, at least from my end, I just wish they would have gone deeper. Everything seemed very surface level and buzzwordy rather than trying to get into the spirit of it and trying to go a little bit deeper with like the inner workings of a D&D game. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like, you know, there's some stuff with the classes in the party. Yeah. And we'll talk about that more in spoilers, I'm sure. But
no, that's really my only complaint is the specifics of classes and how they actually work. Like, they all felt different, but they also didn't really dive into what they do and how powerful they can be.
And there was a lot of, even on, like, there was a lot of...
Tiefling was a druid.
Druid, right. Yeah. Even with that, there was a lot of opportunity, I think, for humorous circumstances or the plan to work even better had they employed some of those things. But anyway, like I said, we'll talk about that more in spoilers.
Yeah. I guess for me, the only thing I can think of is that they didn't get the spirit that like you feel like you're being controlled by like a DM, but I don't know how you really do that. Yeah, I was like, I don't really. So I guess I don't have the same issue with getting the spirit. I feel like everything was pretty surface level. Like it was just like the very basics of everything and a pretty basic like campaign story of here's the twist, here's the bad,
incorporate your backstories.
Yeah. There's obvious doom and all that kind of stuff, which is all pretty standard for a D&D session. Yeah. Or I guess campaign. Right. Or at least a section of a campaign. Yeah. That wouldn't be a full campaign. But. Okay. Any last thoughts, Tristan? Did you fall asleep in this one?
Just for like a baby bit.
A baby bit.
Yeah.
A baby nap.
Just like a
there
little...
weren't any like sexy guys in this one. Seems to be the ones
Chris
that she's staying awake for.
He never took his shirt off.
Yes, right. He never took his shirt off.
I fell asleep during John Wick. That's not sexy.
That's the point.
Oh. I forgot. Well, there you go. I stayed awake for most of this.
What about Rage Gene Page? Raji Page? He's a sexy boy. He was wearing armor the whole time. And
the armor looked I really dug the Harper armor. It looked really good.
I did fall asleep for him.
Borderline autistic, but
he might have, yeah. Just in the, let's be clear on that. Just because there's a joke about him not understanding irony or not understanding sarcasm. But anyway.
You can't say stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Babe.
It's awareness.
Sure.
It is April. Happy Autism Awareness Month, everyone.
Oh, yeah, that was an April Fool's joke.
Unless you're mad about awareness, then
who's
Happy
mad about
Autism
awareness?
Acceptance Month.
Oh,
We're not getting into this.
She was like bringing a whole new world to us. Okay, well, yeah, that's it.
Podcast crossing.
We can do a recommendation real quick. Do you recommend watching it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I do.
I absolutely recommend it. Fun theater watch. Not too crazy on the ears.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you bring kids to?
I would.
I don't remember a bunch of cursing, but I could be wrong.
No, there's not. I don't think there is.
There's minimal blood.
Yeah.
There's just scary characters.
I would. There is one very scary character.
Well, but I'm saying like you could bring a 10, 11-year-old.
There's a lot of dead people for a little bit. A lot of corpses and people getting shot.
But that's
and things.
kind of funny.
But like I said, it looks like, I know I hate that I keep saying this title. Sorry. It looks like Dark Crystal. It just looks like big rubbery foamy
I don't know.
costumes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before.
Never
so
seen Dark Crystal.
We're not catching on.
Oh.
You're the only one that's seen bad 80s fantasy.
Rude.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I also recommend it. And
great.
I feel like it could be a fun movie to watch with a family is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Preteen, teenager.
I feel like Dad would like this movie.
Probably.
Sorry to our D&D group who mentioned wanting to go see it. Yep. And then we went without you.
They also didn't say anything.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, that's right.
We went Thursday opening night. So, Okay. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back for the spoiler part of the review. All right, we're back
We're back.
after that short little break.
Sorry
Now
for
we're-
the neighbors and if you can hear the bumping music.
Yeah, they're having a
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
So now we're getting to spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you care about spoilers, now's the time to pause the podcast and come back after you watched it.
Pause the pod.
Pause the pod.
First. Oh my gosh, I forgot my first. The spoiler talk.
Yeah.
First thing I wanted to say, if this was a real D&D story / campaign, no way that party would have survived.
No,
Let's just
100% no. Yeah.
Put that right off the right there. Anybody
you
that hasn't
mean?
played D&D,
Yeah.
they would have died so fast.
so
Why?
fast.
The main thing I'm thinking of is the games. They would have died
Oh,
in the
yeah.
games for sure.
Yeah. Well, and like,
I thought that was fun.
It
That-
is fun.
It kind of
but
reminded me of
if you if
Star Wars.
yeah,
And
Trench
they're in
Run?
the sure.
Okay. But if a DM created this puzzle where they're supposed to go into this time, they have to go in this like poison time stopping thing and then go underneath there's no way that they would somehow think of that in the exact right time to be able to
Yeah.
escape that. I mean,
Yeah,
you have to have multiple outs.
it's too
well,
technical.
and I kept
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, man, we're getting some real high intelligence wisdom rolls
Yes.
here.
And
Or some real high investigation checks going on.
and some high
Well,
charisma checks. and
Explain
persuasion.
that if people don't know.
So like what he was saying, thinking that so those things are called gelatinous cubes, and being in that scenario, that's not something that you would necessarily think of on your own to like get on into the cube and then have it go under the stage. So you would make a roll for any of those things we listed. And if it was high enough, the DM could choose to divulge and be like, yes, you get the feeling that if you hop into this gelatinous cube, you can maybe find a way to get out.
But most DMs wouldn't even give you that.
Right.
Because you usually don't divulge your
Unless they're like out of options and you're like, how are you guys supposed to move forward?
yeah. You usually don't tell your mazes or riddles and all that stuff away. Now you can. Like I personally would because I think you're playing somebody else and you don't have to be as smart as your character.
Right.
That's the point. Just like your strong characters don't have to actually break open a door with their foot if they want to break open the door in the game. So
Right. Now, there are some people that disagree with us.
Yes.
There are some LARPers out there that...
which is totally fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, everybody has their own. But there's just a whole lot of scenarios where they more than likely would have got.
Right.
And
that kind of
it's
leads...
just funny.
That kind of leads into what not one of my problems was, but one of the things I said, I was like, one of the ways I think this movie could have gone to a deeper level. One of the best parts about D&D is you come up with this great plan and it's going to work. If you can just pull off the rolls, it works. Speaking of your Star Wars one that we're in, and you go, okay, if I can just sneak past this thing, and then guess what? You roll a 1 or you roll really low.
Yeah.
It seemed like every time that there was a plan, even if the plan was bad and failed, it still went exactly according to the plan it was supposed to.
Like they never messed up.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
never got the feeling like, because like we said just then, we feel like there were plenty of times where it was like, oh, somebody like could have rolled high for that. Somebody could have done whatever. But it could also go the opposite way of, oh, this person's rolling really low now because they made this mistake.
The only thing I can specifically think of is when the sorcerer got his foot stuck in the.
They're like
'Cause
the
that would be-
concentration.
Well, that would have been my guess is like that would have been a sneak roll to get
sure.
past him.
Yeah.
And they would have probably been rolling with advantage because they used the illusion.
Yeah.
But he still got stuck, so it's like he
Right.
rolled really low, and that's why because he wouldn't be rolling Constitution unless he took damage. So.
Right. And maybe now that we're talking about this, maybe we're thinking of it the wrong way in terms of like, maybe the D&D has a ton of lore and source material to pull from, and they're pulling from the standard thing, which is the Sword Coast. That's where like D&D takes place if you want to play by the book, quote unquote. But maybe this is just supposed to be a story being told in that lore and not necessarily people playing. But the problem with that is is that people are going because they play D&D, and because we play it, we understand how the game works, and we understand the things that make it fun.
Yeah, like I said, I think they did a good job of getting a feel. Like, I think they got the feel of what it feels like to play and do like weird plans and think of things, and people using their different abilities to help the party or whatever.
Right.
And I know, and I feel like they did a good job of meshing it with how a TV has to work. Like, or a movie, like how you have to have a story and how you have to have action progress as a movie. I thought they did a pretty good blend of it.
Sure.
For the most part. So,
Yeah.
So we differ there a little bit, but not, I don't think a ton,
Not
but
a ton.
differ a little bit. Oh,
No.
shoot. Okay. I pushed the space bar, and usually that's pause.
Nah, you good?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, and then there's just other things they could have played in. So like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of this is just like buzzwords and utilizing.
Yeah, there's a lot for sure.
Yeah, and so there's a sorcerer, and in the game you have spell slots. You can only do so much during the day, but it felt like he could just same thing with the wild shape, the druid thing.
Yeah.
You have to be like level 18 to wild shape even 4 times a day, and she is like flip-flopping all over the place,
Yeah, and that's what I just took as like kind of the loose interpret, because they have to, like, I get the argument, because I said the same thing when I was watching the movie. I'm like, holy crap, she's wild shaping a ton. And yeah, you like wild shape is a really good thing, but you don't get to just do it like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite as well, because the enemy also just somehow knew that there was a wild shape in the room.
Right.
And that's
also not necessarily a thing. Yeah.
No, you would not just know that there was a wild shaped fly.
But couldn't you like roll to be like?
We talked about that a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah,
Short answer, yes.
yeah, you could roll for
Like an insight check or
well, I know wizards have like an actual spell, detect magic.
detect magic. Yeah.
But there would be no reason for her to just do that. Because that's just supposed to be like every time you
Sure.
see a fly or
Sure.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
but I'm saying, so it goes both ways. Like
yeah.
in reality, she would have been able to be the fly, she would have been able to see the thing, and she would have got out with any issue, but that's not fun for a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had her see it and had a chase scene out of it, and it was fine. It was just obviously way crazier than what would normally happen.
Yeah.
And I thought the whole mirror thing, being up against the ground,
Yeah. It's a little weird.
was a little weird. It was funny.
Yeah.
But another thing that's like a little looser on the D&D, because I would be so pissed if my DM was like, oh yeah, you do
Your
this whole
mirror
entire plan, they set
fell.
it down and it fell, so now it's against the floor and you can't go through it.
Yeah. And it creates some tension later, but
Yeah.
I was thinking kind of the same thing. They already showed us you can manipulate stuff with the mirror whenever she has the sorcerer guy like halfway out of the mirror
Yeah.
on the cart. And then it falls. I was like, oh, so they just like got to push up or something.
what I
Like there's
figured,
something that they could do. And then they're like, there's nothing we can do here. I'm like, but you just showed us like all of this stuff happening with it before.
Yeah.
Why is it all of a sudden a problem now? And so
Yeah. I think they just wanted to split up the thing, which is
They
totally
did,
fine.
yeah.
Which is also something
that's
you
rule
don't
number
do.
one, though.
That's
Yeah.
rule number one in D&D. You never split
Don't
up.
split the party. Yeah.
But you can do that in a movie. The reason why you don't do it when you're playing is because
You're not at full.
having your DM having to DM basically 2 different sessions is just annoying to make your DM do.
Yeah.
And it's also you're having half of your party just sit there and listen to you 2 play, and then sitting there listening to the other 2 play,
Yeah.
and it's just dumb. Like
Yeah,
just
and you're not collectively
Exactly.
working
just-
on yeah.
yeah, like it's good to work. Like it works for a movie, and I'm not mad that they did it, but
Yeah.
just a fun little thing that I did notice that when they split up, I'm like, that's not D&D. I do think that they played into the fact that off the old 2000s D&D movie.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, the I think this might be a sequel,
Oh, really?
because I don't really know, but the title screen,
Yeah.
the title words are the
Uh-huh.
same exact as the old Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, but that's that's just their brand. That's just what it looks like.
It looks exactly like that, and the
Yeah, the little dragon and thing.
Yeah. Well, they also call it Honor Amongst Thieves, so I was like, they didn't just call it
maybe though
Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't know. I thought maybe they were playing on it, but maybe
the
they
internet
weren't.
had answers.
It may have just been my mind trying to connect the two, because I actually don't hate the old one with what's the guy's name? I can't remember, but it's really bad, but it's really fun.
Nice.
I feel like it's not.
Yeah,
because
it probably isn't.
Because a lot of our articles that are pulling up say things like, "Does it lay groundwork for a sequel?" instead of like the sequel to thing. So anyway, go ahead.
I thought that the wizard, what's her, the girl,
The druid,
I don't know,
the
Does she
person that
turn
turned
the
into
animals?
tattoo
animals.
heads. No.
Oh, the
the
dark
wizard.
wizard, the red
Yeah.
wizard.
You got it.
Yes,
Yeah, the wizard.
yeah. She was creepy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they went too far with her.
She was a good
on the
BBEG.
creepy scale. Like everything else was like pretty chill, like
They did a good job with her backstory too.
happy, blah blah blah. But then her, it was like terrifying.
Yeah.
She was scary.
Well, she's also undead. She's not living.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, see, how was I supposed to know? Did they say that?
I
Kind
think
of.
one like offhand comment.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
the
I
paladin
just-
dude kills all of those people, and then they're
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh no, they're not going to be down for long. They're undead,"
Oh.
and they're all the same people.
Well, I just remember at the end when she's going crazy.
Yeah.
With the thingy, the red
Mhm.
thingy.
The red thing.
I was like,
The
shoot,
horn,
she
yeah.
is terrifying.
That's what.
She just was on just like a whole other level than the rest of the movie. I
And the
feel.
imagery of the
Mhm.
hardened blood coming down from the sky is pretty
Yeah.
intense.
So.
And like gonna kill all these people.
that's another
Yeah.
thing I like about it though, is because your BBEGs, your big bad
Evil guy.
evil guy,
Yeah. Or
Uh,
gal.
is what you call like your main, like your bosses throughout your D&D campaign. Like sometimes you only have one, sometimes you gain more as you go, but you call them your BBEGs. It's your like big fights.
Mm-hmm.
You have small fights all over the time. You have
Yeah.
role playing stuff, blah blah blah. But you have one big fight, or you have big fights, and it's usually one really strong person that's stronger than everybody in your party.
Mm-hmm.
But you as a party collectively overtake them over your wits
So
and your
it
different
would make
abilities.
sense that she would be like that.
Yes, it
Right.
makes sense that she's so
Fair.
overly strong, and that all of their different abilities together are what eventually got her down
Yeah.
and killed her. Although I guess their daughter is really
That's-
the reason.
That's my biggest. There's another one in there that I can't really remember, but that's the biggest thing in this. There's a couple times, I can't remember the first one, but the second one where they're like, I knew she had a plan. Or he says something about
Yeah.
her doing it.
and they
I'm
don't
like,
tell you the plan.
yeah, I'm like, that
Yeah.
never happened. It
Yeah.
just like, I wish they would have just been like, oh, Kira, you're so smart. Good on you for doing the smart thing. But instead they're like, we had a plan and it was
See,
great.
I mean, I like that because that's what you would do in a. I mean, usually you don't go that far into plans when you're doing the D&D
Yeah.
stuff, but you can.
Well,
There are some groups
Yeah.
that do spend hours coming up with plans, and it doesn't matter
I'm
because
so
it
glad
all
you
goes
guys
to.
don't do that.
Well, you wouldn't know if we did or didn't.
Well, you don't, and you already spend hours on it. So
Well, and that's not really my problem with it is that the movie doesn't show us that.
Yes.
He just says, do you have your
And I-
pendant? Yep.
and I-
Great.
and
Be
I-
invisible.
Yeah, I just think it, like for dramatic effect,
Yeah.
they couldn't do that. And I actually just don't like the fact that the daughter did it in general. When she went invisible, I knew that she was not going to just disappear.
Just be invisible. Yeah.
But the plan would have made more sense because also in a party you wouldn't have taken your daughter to fight the BBEG
Well-
and gotten that close and had her do that.
And I feel like it would have made more sense for him to be like, I told you no last time, you have to stay here to stay safe. This time, like, stay safe, but be with us kind of thing. Or like give her something to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have made sense story-wise, but instead we just get the same thing. He just says,
Yeah.
go
I see what you
invisible and
mean.
stay safe.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, my thing is just like when I'm playing, if I had a daughter in my game, I would not have my daughter. I would not bring my daughter to that fight to execute a plan.
Sure.
I would say, okay, you as the druid, when this happens, you go put it on as a whatever, or sorcerer, you do mage hand and put it on her this way.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like find it. You wouldn't use an NPC that will die in one hit.
Ooh, that meat hand was gross.
The meat hand, the rock hand versus the meat hand.
Ew, yeah, I know it was.
I thought it was pretty dope.
It was gross.
Yeah. Rock hand was fun.
I liked his
Rockhand.
progression too. In
I
general,
did
the
too.
sorcerer's progression.
I wish he would have kept that helmet on, but those actors got to show their faces.
Yeah. And
I liked him
Andy would have
in-
been too strong, so
Yeah.
I liked him in the girls'
relationship.
relationship. Yeah.
Can I quote you?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We get so like another thing where they could there's a lot to the world of D&D in terms of like with creatures and stuff. The ostriches were weird. Like
Yeah.
there's I mean, you could have just made them cows. They don't have to be this weird funky ostrich thing.
Yeah.
And then like you have deer in this world, like animals exist. I did like the little brain creatures. Those were fun.
Those are really good.
The panthers were fun. Gelatinous cute. The mimic, I laughed out loud.
Yeah, you
that
did.
was pretty good. Yeah. And then the fat dragon, we looked up afterward. The fat dragon in the Underdark is an actual thing. The Underdark that was another thing where I was like, you could have gone deeper and you just chose not to.
Yeah.
The Underdark is like a world beneath the earth.
Yeah.
It's not just this barren Moria-esque from Lord of the Rings, Moria-esque wasteland of death and nothing. It's an actual place with
Sure.
like,
I mean, I kind of get it though. Like sometimes when you're playing, like you just introduce this idea of something huge, but you're in and out. You're just doing it for this one thing, but you're
Yeah.
kind of planting that idea that there's something else here. And so
Well-
I kind of think that's kind of what it is. Like they
Yeah.
were there to get one thing,
yeah.
and they introduced something really big without expanding on it
Really,
because
yeah.
for something later, like if it goes down the road and then they can expand on it later because they just kind of teased
That's
it.
fair. Yeah.
And I feel like that's common in D&D sessions too, because sometimes like they'll like DMs will have you go to the Feywild for like one thing or
Yeah.
for like 2 sessions, and it's the Feywild's huge and has a bunch of stuff in it, or the astral plane and stuff like that. Astral plane is usually just like you usually just do it for dramatic effect. And
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't mind that as much.
Yeah. I just wish
I see what you mean though.
it's the buzzword thing that was annoying me. I think that's what's messing with me about it. Is
And I feel like they were probably just trying to say like, hey, look, we're showing you like
Yeah.
that we actually know the source material.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than give us a place that was special and could be special, rather than a barren wasteland with some traps and an ambush and a big fat red dragon. The black dragon was dope. I was really glad they included that. That was a cool get. However, yeah, I wish they would have picked somewhere that was going to be a little bit more lively and a little bit more like, yeah, just special. Add to the story instead of just make it a fetch quest kind of thing. But
Every single D&D campaign would have died in the
Yeah.
underworld against
oh
that
yeah,
dragon.
no, the Underdark is not someplace you go just because. Like,
no, and, well, no,
yeah.
and I think they set that up well.
I said that wrong. The Underdark is dangerous.
Yes.
You don't go there at a low level, which these people apparently are.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what level they're supposed to be, but also
Apparently high if Druid can.
Yeah,
Well, shouldn't-
that's fair.
just kidding.
But my point of that is saying, if any party gets face to face with a dragon, they assume they're supposed to fight it
Yeah.
and kill it, and they
Right.
do not, and they run away. No party's running away. So you don't run away until half your people are dead, and you're like, oh, we haven't even scratched it yet.
Right.
How do we get out of here?
Right.
When I was in elementary school, my friend told me that her brother had to go back to the underworld because he lost his dollar there. That's
Yeah.
kind of like what you're talking
In
about.
D&D or
No.
IRL?
No, IRL.
Like the sewers?
No,
Was he a witch?
I think so.
Satanic?
Maybe.
In
You
Good
were
old-
friends?
Leon, Kansas.
Mhm.
You were friends?
Well, it was just elementary school, so it was like friends by proximity, you know?
Yeah, he sat at your desk clump.
No, his sister.
I'm just okay.
But what you're saying is he definitely played D&D.
No, I'm saying like he went to a very scary place to just like real quick grab his dollar.
Did he get it?
I don't know. She didn't keep me up to date.
She's just saying sometimes you just go to the dangerous place in the world just
for
for one thing.
Yeah, just to get your dollar back.
Just
Money.
to get your helmet.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's all.
Yeah.
Well, anything too much else? You guys
There's
wanna
not a lot
talk
to this
about?
movie, man.
Not really.
It's a fun ride.
It was fun.
Did you know the dude was gonna betray the party off the bat
I did not.
in that first scene?
I mean, once we saw that he did, I was kind of like, oh,
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hugh Grant really seemed to be phoning it in for this.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
make
think
that
he's
money, I
had
guess.
a
But
fantastic role in a while, anyways. So
he was in the Operation Fortune. I mean, he was just playing his usual Guy Ritchie movie self.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But no, I like Hugh Grant. Oh no, he was in
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion for a second too. Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing like. Yeah, I'm saying like I don't think he's been great in a movie in a while.
Gotcha.
anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
it's not the
Yeah.
90s anymore.
No, I mean everybody else. I mean, besides Hugh Grant, everybody else really seemed to be.
That's him?
Oh, what are we looking at?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I told you it's not the
What?
90s anymore.
What
That's
movie-
weird.
What are we looking at?
Oh, just all
Nine-
of these.
Yeah, but what's
9
the movie
months.
you're specifically
9
pointing
months. 9 months.
Mickey Blue Eyes.
at? 10 months.
9 months. Trevor Forrest. Sorry, Trevor.
All the Bridget Jones movies about a boy. Anyways, doesn't
Paddington.
matter.
Paddington
too.
2. Look at that.
Pedro Pascal's
The
favorite movie.
Gentleman, is that what that is?
He was
Yeah.
in The Gentleman.
Yeah.
He's in most of Guy Ritchie movies, or in a lot of
Well,
them, I think.
How am I supposed to know that's a Guy Ritchie movie?
He's in the 2 that I've seen.
I think it's funny that people's name is
I'm pretty sure
Guy.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is also Guy Ritchie, right?
I have a friend whose name is Guy.
That's so interesting.
Yep, Guy Ritchie.
I know a guy. That was funny.
I couldn't think of a follow up for that. I was gonna say who knows a guy, but that doesn't work because he is also Guy.
That's true.
Anyway, no man, I think I'm okay. Yeah, there's
I'm done.
it's a fun romp. Get your D&D in.
Shake
Go-
it, bam, bam,
I
shake it,
feel
bam,
like
bam.
D&D products are gonna be like
The
sales are
people
gonna
next to
skyrocket after
me-
this.
Maybe.
We're hardcore. Let me tell
Oh,
you.
yeah?
And they were cracking
Hardcore.
up. They were getting some real,
Is that them the whole entire
yeah,
movie?
not the whole movie, but definitely, yeah. They were living it up, which was fine.
Living it up.
My cup
It's
got a
Friday
hole in
night.
it.
It did, and then you left it in the cup holder.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I stuck it in Easton's empty cup and I threw it in the trash. And then I went and told the guy that my cup got a hole in it and now the cup holder's filled with liquid. And he went, ugh. I said,
Don't give me a cup.
Don't
that
give me
has
a cup
hole
with
in
a-
it.
yeah.
Before we went in, didn't I ask you if you wanted me to go get you another cup?
Wait, you knew it had a hole in
I
it?
thought, well, see, it was leaking.
Oh
And I thought maybe if it was in the cup holder and it had, like, it was packed, that it wouldn't.
She did
Leak.
wrap it in napkins.
I
Yeah.
did. And then I
And-
tried lifting
and-
it up and it was like,
Absorbent wet napkins.
yeah. It's fine,
Ridiculous.
though.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah.
We just made some minimum wage dude hate his life for
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Sorry,
TBH
bud.
He
though,
already does. So.
man, especially if you go see a late showing, I've seen some nasty looking seats when people leave and it's like 1 a.m. Like
poop in their seat.
basically, like they'll get the little like trays of things and like nachos spilled on the seat and like popcorn on the floor and the soda cup is like there's some like people listen up. People going to theaters, clean your crap up. Like,
Yeah.
it is their job to come in and like make the seats sanitary and clean for you, not to clean up after you.
Or there's
Yeah.
there's just a more simpler answer to this. Just be a decent person.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
All of mankind, just be decent. It's not hard. It's not hard to just not spill your shit and smear it around and be like, I'll go home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just go grab some. If you spill something, go grab some napkins.
Or like tell them.
Yeah. Stupid.
And you shouldn't be spilling all of your cheese that much. I don't think I've done it, and I spill
Gross,
a
man.
lot.
I
You
tell
do
you, I
spill
walk
a
by these
lot.
seats and like they're, you know, the like
I'm the spill king.
The-
You don't spill in public
the-
much though.
the recliner
feel
is
like
like
it.
half up. Stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hit my shin on that.
That one
Yeah.
was like broken.
It was
though.
broken,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
get people, man.
Anyway.
Okay, that's the end of our theater etiquette.
We haven't
Don't be a
ranted
dick.
about people being jerks in a
Yeah.
theater in a long time. So
There's
Still
your
are.
rant.
yeah,
Okay.
They haven't taken our seats recently though, have they?
No.
no,
No.
yeah, and I've been ready. I've been
Good
wanting
job,
to.
people.
Yeah.
Yell at someone.
We yelled at somebody during Titanic because they were talking the whole way, and then they left.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like,
Good.
yeah, if you want to talk, go home and talk.
This is not your couch.
yeah,
Yeah.
There are other people here.
stupid.
True
Laugh,
that.
cry, be
It
scared.
moved me, Bob.
Just don't talk.
Yeah.
And if you talk, be quiet. And don't shine your damn phone
Yeah,
on full brightness
Yeah.
or play video games on your phone in the middle of a movie. Whoever you are, random kid hearing which
Yeah, I don't remember.
Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Mhm.
Okay. Ratings?
Oh.
yeah, sure, 2, I guess.
Two.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
I told you before we did this. The more I think about it, the less
You did
it's-
say that.
Just because it's marketed as a D&D, I even thinking about it as like this is the world, not necessarily a game that we're putting on screen. Even with that, it's fine. I guess maybe it'll go to I don't know.
That's fine.
Maybe I need to see it again, but I mean, I still even after this conversation, I still feel like 2 is
You might watch it with Madison, right?
or some. Maybe we'll go as the D&D group and see it. I don't know, but
I just knew
Yeah, we'll see.
she was kind of excited to watch it.
she was,
so.
yeah.
And yeah, we could. I mean, it doesn't cost us anything.
That's right.
We can go for free.
see how many times we want.
Yeah. Tristan?
375.
375. Okay. Dang, pretty high. I'm sitting between 3.5 and a 4. So I think at the moment I want to stick with 3.5 because that's usually my like fun good, and like 4 is when it's like this is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's quite up there yet. And maybe a rewatch will knock it up. But I don't think anything will knock it down.
Yeah.
Like because I did just have a fun time, and I don't think the movies that I think are a fun time and bad, that's when you get to like 2.5 range. But I still think this was good and fun. So I don't mind sticking it 3.5, which is my most rated, I think.
Yeah.
3.5 is usually my average. So and this movie's at a 3.7. So Tristan, you are straight average.
Yeah,
one.
I'm average.
That's okay.
I'm average. Yeah, I'm average.
Rude.
He got you
That's
good.
when you're supposed to tell me, no, you're not average. You're great.
And that's it for today's episode.
my
Thank you
goodness.
guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week with that. Hey, don't do it too long. We're gonna get demonetized. Okay, we make a lot of money off these videos, and they can't be demonetized. Actually, I'm pretty sure they don't even demonetize. It'll just take it off. Like it'll just remove your video.
Oh, okay, yeah. We can't do that anymore. Stop that. Stop it.
No,
be fine.
no. This is my arrangement. This is copyrighted.
No. Anyway.
But yes, we're doing Super Mario Bros. Really excited for it. Looks fun. Chris Pratt,
Chris Pratt, Jack Black,
and Jack Black, and a bunch of other
A bunch
people.
of other, yeah.
The cast is stacked. Anyways, so
It
if you guys want
is.
to listen to that, listen to us next week. Talk about it. Should be out on Monday-ish. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good one.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the Movie Moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.